White-collar crime can be rather extensive, and including financial fraud. The Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme was incredible and did quite a bit of damage, and it involved quite a bit of money. And here's a quick review of it. One moment, please.
Madoff is the face of financial wrongdoing on an epic scale. His family destroyed by his lies. One son became convinced he could never recover. In her new book, The End of Normal, that son's wife, Stephanie, asks the questions we all want answered. Why would a father lay waste to his entire family? And what would make a son feel he had no choice but to pay for the sins of his father? Everything was perfect on October 23, 2004. The designer gown, the well-heeled guests. Even the Harlem Boys Choir flown into the exclusive island of Nantucket to serenade the bride. Because what you're seeing here isn't just any wedding. It's the wedding of Stephanie and Mark Madoff.
I was so happy that day. I was just so happy to be Mark's wife.
Stephanie was 30 and finally convinced she'd found her soulmate in Mark. He was 40, a divorced father of 2, handsome and rich. He was more than a millionaire. He was the son of the legendary Bernard Madoff, the mighty money man of Wall Street. But to Stephanie on that night, Bernie was just her unassuming father-in-law.
I was dancing the whole night. And I remember at one point I looked off and saw him to the side, and I just sort of pulled him on the dance floor and was dancing with him. I think I shocked him by pulling him out on the dance floor like that.
He was doing the white guy shuffle.
Right,
Probably
exactly,
biting his lip if you look closely.
Yes.
But what Stephanie didn't realize was that she was dancing with the devil.
He stood there at my wedding watching everyone dance, and he knew that everyone in that room was going to get screwed.
It is the same Bernie Madoff that you saw splashed all over the media as the most hated man in America. The mastermind behind the biggest Ponzi scheme in history.
One of the most difficult things.
And let me advance this a bit. It's hard to get everything in here.
It was that sensitivity that attracted Stephanie, then a 27-year-old college grad from New York who was working for a fashion designer. And it was time to meet Mr. Right.
Comfortable.
Now, he may have been the big name, but she was the big personality, Ruth, right?
Yes, cracking jokes all the time.
At Bernie's expense?
At Bernie's expense, yep.
The Madoff family was clearly enjoying the good life. Traveling on private jets, a villa in the south of France, a home in Palm Beach, Florida, where Bernie kept Bull, a 55-foot vintage yacht. While Stephanie and Mark lived downtown, his parents lived here, a $9 million Park Avenue penthouse with a wraparound terrace, or here in Montauk, in their beachfront mansion. They could buy whatever they wanted, something Bernie showed off to Stephanie one day in a fancy store.
He came in and said, anything she touches, she gets. And I said, Bernie, you're crazy.
Yes, things were very important to Bernie Madoff, and Stephanie says he was compulsive about organizing his collections, like his 17 Rolex watches, or his
Spanish accent.
There was something more troubling about Bernie, his obsessive secrecy about his private fund, and how he managed such remarkable returns for his clients.
Mark and I love.
It was, Stephanie says in her book, a source of tension between father and son.
Every single fight was about the same thing. He said to me, Stephanie, I don't have any clue what my father does. And I just want to know what happens if he dies, what I'm supposed to do. And Bernie would always say the same thing. You do your job and I'll.
Decides to tell Papa Bernie and Granny Ruth that she and Mark are pregnant again.
They loved their grandchildren, loved them.
With their first child, Audrey, there was champagne and celebration, but not this time.
Ruth shouted, hey Bernie, Stephanie's pregnant. Bet you never saw that one coming, huh?
You thought there was something off in them.
Why wouldn't they be over the moon to have another grandchild?
But looking back, what do you think?
I think Bernie knew I'm going to ruin another life.
That life, and so many others around the world, were about to be shattered. And Stephanie and Mark would be caught in the eye of the storm.
And that's a quick review of the Bernie Madoff case. And it's a lot of stuff on the internet about it. And there's several books written about it. And it's the ultimate in financial fraud. And I try to get the most significant parts in. But anyhow, if you haven't heard about it before, hopefully this gives you a quick review. If you've heard about it before, hopefully it's a quick flashback. And that'll do it.